Hey guys, welcome to lesson number 3 of literacy. This is our starting of our writing activity now. So you'll need a pencil and a textbook today, and you'll need something else as well. Now, you need to definitely ask for permission for this. You're going to need to ask your mum, dad, nan, granddad, whoever it is you live with. You're going to want to ask for a letter. Now, this is a letter that they may have received in the post, and this might be something, I don't know, from the council. They may have said they might have sent something out about voting. It might be some junk mail. It might be, I don't know, a receipt that's been sent if your parents have, I don't know, ordered something, or it's the internet. It's the bill from the internet. Virgin Media or whoever, but you need to ask mum and dad or nan and granddad for permission for this. And you're not going to share any of it online. You're just going to have a look at the letter and see what you can sort of see on there. So get your book, pencil and pen out, get the date and what written in, and see if you can borrow a letter. If you don't have one, don't worry, because I've got one prepared in the PowerPoint for you. But if you can have a look at a real one, that would be super helpful. Okay, so what did you notice on the letter? So in your book, underneath your date and Walt, what did you notice on the letter? What does it include? Now, don't give any personal information out, but it's most likely not set out in like a normal story with once upon a time. It's got different features all on it, and it's probably set out in a very strange way compared to other sort of things that you would have typed up on the computer. They're probably all computer typed as well. We don't really send handwritten letters anymore. So I would like you, as on the first task, to write down 3 things that you notice on a letter that is different to a story or another piece of writing that you've done in the past. I'll let you pause the video so you can do those 3 things that you noticed, and I'll see you in a second. Now, if you don't have a letter, don't worry. If you have had a letter and you've done this part now, you can kind of skip ahead. But here's the start of a letter that I've included on our lesson. Now, I'll read the opening section. It says, "Dear Mr. Wheeler, I bought a red 2005 Bazooki Whiz from your dealership on the 16th of July, 2015. And to say I'm unhappy with the purchase is an understatement. I've tried calling your garage a number of times, but as soon as I give it my name, the line goes dead. I'm writing this formal letter of complaint to inform you of the serious issues I have had with the vehicle and what I expect from you as a result." So that paragraph was kind of normal. You might have seen that, or you might have written something similar to that in a story that you've done in the past. But if we have a look at this letter and the first half of it, it looks rather different to how we usually set out our text or our stories that we have written in the past. So if you haven't done so, write down 3 things that you notice that are very different on a letter compared to a normal story that you have written in the past. So I'll let you pause the video, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so now that you've written down 1 or 2 things, let's see what's on the next slide. So this is the rest of the text inside the story, in the letter. Days after, I've read the first paragraph, so I'll continue with the second. Days after buying the car, I experienced the following problems: thick smoke coming from the exhaust, a loud rattling noise under the car bonnet, faulty windscreen wipers, a heater which only blows cold air, a broken horn, a sunroof which refuses to open, and just yesterday one of the wing mirrors fell off. Mr. Wheeler, you assured me that this car was in excellent condition, and I trusted you. This car is unfit to drive and could have caused me to be involved in a road traffic accident. Firstly, I demand a full refund by the end of the month. Furthermore, the car is sitting in our driveway and I expect that someone will come to collect it by the end of the week. Please be assured that if my expectations are not met, I will be taking the matter further." So what have you noticed about the way this is written? Do you notice anything about the tense or what person it's written in? Jot down on your book or on your paper what tense you think it was written in and what person it was written in. So remember, there's first, second, or third person. And the three most basic tenses we talk about are past, present, and future. So have a little read, pause the video, and see if you can get those two answers down. Okay, and the last section we've read already, but it says at the bottom there, yours sincerely, Mr. S. Holmes. And he's done it in, looks like handwriting as well. So if you only thought of two things that you noticed that were different about this letter, or if you've noticed another feature on the letter that you haven't necessarily seen before, or looks different to a normal sort of story or text that you may have written, here's your chance to write down any others to add to it. So here's the letter all in one. Let's try and make my video clip smaller. So here is the letter in full, just so you can see the whole thing together. So if you haven't done so already, is there anything now that you notice that a letter is different compared to a story that you may have read or wrote in the past? The way it looks, the way it stands out, the tense or person it's written in? Have you noticed about what information they include? So if you've not got those ideas down, pause the video, have another look, and see how many things you can include that's different from usual. Okay, so I'm hoping by now you've come up with a few different things to say what you noticed about the letter. I would hope you found at least 4 or 5 different things, or there's a couple of things that you've recognized that it's written in a certain way. Your task will be to identify different features of the letter using the answers on your worksheet. So for instance, if we have a look at the first half of the page again, like we showed at the start, I've given you a few different examples at the bottom. So it says there are 4 things here on display. We have something up here, something on the right, something on the left, and something just below. So there are 4 possible answers, and you're going to need to copy or sort of draw a line around to connect the correct one up. So I'll read them out for you. The date is written on the right-hand side, starting below the address you are writing to. The next one to the right over here, the address of the recipient goes on the left, below your own address. Let me go to the bottom left. Your own address goes in the top right-hand corner of the letter. And lastly, Dear Sir / Madam, if you don't know the recipient or Mr., Mrs., Miss or Ms. surname if you do. So for instance, the first one, I might think, right, I can use my detective skills here and I can see that there is Dear here and it's Dear Mr. Wheeler. And in this box here, it says Dear Sir / Madam, if you don't know the recipient, or it's Mr. and their surname. So I know this person is written to Dear Mr. Wheeler. So I've dragged, or I can use a line to connect it. Okay, so the first one's been done for you, and there's 3 more for you to have a go at. And on your worksheet, there'll be a few others that you need to include as well. So your task is to join up all the different features of the letter. Okay, so once you have finished that activity, there is a quick challenge question for you to have a go at. So let's have a quick look. So the challenge question is, why do you think a letter needs the recipient's name and your address as well. So you could write this into your book and then take a picture of the planning that you've done. But the challenge question is, why do you think a letter needs the recipient's address and your own? Okay, guys, so once you've got all that finished, take a picture and make sure you upload it onto the right activity, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Cheers.